Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a little bit of an exploration on my own femininity and what that means to me. And I just kind of want to talk through something that I've experienced in my life that I've been feeling and something that other people, especially women, I feel like might experience in terms of femininity and womanhood and that experience of being a girl. This is going to be a research video, so it's going to be broken up into parts, but this first part is just based on my experience and things I've gone through and what it's like being a girl for me personally as Jayda. Hey, let's get into it. So today I was headed to the doctor's office for an appointment, and I was listening for some reason to Emma Chamberlain's most recent podcast that she posted the other day. Here's the clip.
I've always felt like I'm not feminine enough because I'm very in touch with my masculine traits, if you will, and I always have been. And I've always been weirdly self-conscious about that because it's not something I can control, you know? Like, I am who I am, because that's the other thing about me. I am who I am. Like, I can't fake it. And so when I am 100% myself, I am, this particular combination of feminine and masculine traits, stereotypically, if you will.
While listening to this, it kind of shocked me because lately I've been trying to step into my feminine energy, dress more feminine, feel more feminine. I, for a long time, was a tomboy. I still am. That's me. There's nothing wrong with that. It's who I am. But there's also part of me that's always felt a little bit left out in terms of being a woman. I feel a little bit of that feeling of being an outsider. I wrote this caption on International Women's Day a couple years ago. Happy International Women's Day. I'm grateful to have been raised by 3 generations of hardworking, smart, kind women who lead with love. I'm grateful for my friends who listen and care and move with gentleness. I'm grateful for mentors and bosses who teach and guide with wisdom. I'm grateful for me, who, despite feeling other when it comes to being a woman, has become a woman I'm proud of. I'm grateful for all the women in my life, and grateful to be a part of a womanhood that is friendly, beautiful, and always offers to share a sip of its coffee. And it was the first time I'd ever put into words how I had felt growing up, being a tomboy. Growing up as someone who has dated both men and women, it's really challenging, and I'm sure I can't really speak for the entire queer experience, just my own. And the whole notion of femininity and gender and defying the binary is something that I personally have been challenged with. Listening to Emma Chamberlain's podcast low-key kind of shocked me because she mentions,
I've always been self-conscious about feeling like I'm not feminine enough for, say, like boys to like me or, to be attractive to guys that I like. And even in relationships, I've struggled with feeling like, oh, would they be more attracted to me? Would they love me more if I was like ultra feminine, like sexy, gorgeous, stereotypically perfect blowout hair, gorgeous winged liner? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I've always struggled with that.
it kind of surprised me to hear something that I felt so deeply within myself, that a celebrity who I've always admired, always been inspired by, always wanted to emulate, that this person feels the exact same way, because Emma Chamberlain to me has always been this beautiful, iconic style icon who steps into the feminine version of herself, but also in her vlogs or some of the old photo shoots she used to do, even some now, there are more masculine looks. And I don't know, I think in terms of fashion and expressing your gender through your outfits, even though clothes are genderless, there's stereotypes and there are girl clothes and boy clothes. But I think embracing the femininity of fashion is something that I personally have not really stepped into. I haven't really grasped it. So if you want to see my fit today, I was trying to channel it, but it's still skater-esque streetwear, which is something my style has always been. Here's my outfit. So yeah, I have clothes that are very girly, but I also am not at a point in my life where I feel comfortable wearing a lot of crop tops, a lot of tight clothes, but that's also something I have to work on and get over. In conclusion of part 1 of this video, I have always felt other when it comes to being a woman and stepping into my feminine energy, and I think I really would like to explore that in the next couple coming weeks. Whether that's when I get dressed, when I hang out with my sister, when I'm experiencing life in public, going on walks, just thinking about what it means to be a woman, thinking about what it means to be feminine, thinking about where I belong on the spectrum of gender. It's a big thing right now for me, and I just want to feel beautiful, and I want to feel confident, and my self-esteem has just been low as fuck. A woman doesn't have to look any particular way. It can look like me. Let's move on. Hey y'all, welcome to part 2. If you see me looking down, I'm reading off my notes. Paris Mwendwa is a writer with an excellent TikTok account. She explores feminism, race, sex, body, gayness, and other things that I personally care about. There are too many videos on her account for me to pick out my favorite, but her ideas and her discussions always leave me walking away, pondering my own place in feminism and in my own life. Her poetry is art, and her writing is compelling. Paris writes on Substack too, a fact that I probably should have mentioned first. I've read snippets and pieces from various articles, but When Boobs Become Tits aches me in a different way. A short article, this piece mentions the shame of an adolescent growing into womanhood and the sexualization of women's bodies without our permission. While I love Paris's writing and I feel connected to her poetry, this article yet again insists on this camaraderie of women that I do not feel a part of. And I don't know if camaraderie is the right word, but there is this unification and collectiveness of women who have boobs. To be vulnerable, I do not have a curvaceous body. Duh. It feels like other women are part of this club, but I can't tell if it's something to celebrate. I feel like I'm jealous, which I probably am. I want to be a part of this womanhood, but with no boobs, it feels like I'm not. Paris encourages readers to fill out her Google form, which looks like this, so I filled it out. Here are my answers. I never considered feminism growing up, except to ask the gym teacher why boys were expected to do more push-ups than the girls during fitness testing. I lived for the male gaze in middle and high school, often neglecting my womanhood and femininity to be one of the guys. Now, I struggle to put men aside. I struggle to decenter. I want to, especially because I'm learning more about myself, but my boyfriend is my world and I'm not even 100% straight. As a bisexual woman, it feels like neither straightness nor gayness will save me from the patriarchy. I have always felt other as a woman, alien even. I've never been sure if it's my gayness that I have yet to fully embrace, or if there is something wrong with me, whether that's a diagnosis, a disorder. Going out to bars in college with a group of girls, I always felt like the weird, ugly, strange one. I don't think that of myself, but around other women, I have distinguished a competition I don't even want to be a part of, especially when I always lose. When my mom and sister and I go shopping and they cry out, "Girls' Day," I can't help but feel like they're not talking about me. It is isolating and profound to feel like one of the collective, yet so alone. My boobs never grew in, and my face has never been snatched. I think I associate womanhood with beauty, something I should probably change. Maybe if I do, I can feel like one of them. In this section, I wanted to explore the fact that while I have felt like an other in terms of being a woman and being feminine, I also am still part of this beautiful thing called womanhood. But as someone with not very many girlfriends, growing up, I didn't have a lot of girlfriends. Growing up, I dressed like this. These were my outfits growing up. Dressing for comfort, I suppose. I'm not sure. Now, as an adult, observing people with more curves and seeing the effect that unwanted male attention has on people, I don't envy that. It doesn't really happen to me as much anymore, and I think one, it's because I don't work in a college bar anymore. I think part of it has to do with me having not much to show, and it sounds like I'm upset about this. I'm not. Sorry, my camera died. As I was saying, I guess I always thought I was just a late bloomer until I never bloomed. And that's kind of the battle that I've been having and the struggle I've had with my own body is I feel like I've never bloomed, and that's a little something I've got to deal with. But that's just me being vulnerable. And I feel like everyone else is in on some big secret about womanhood that I just am on the outside of, and I'm looking to explore that further in this video. So without further ado, let's move on to part 3. Welcome to part 3 on my video on exploring femininity. We're going to be fighting the wind in this part because I wanted to sit outside. It's so beautiful out, but it's a little windy today. So I apologize in advance if you hear any wind or if my hair goes crazy. I have my notes here. Let's get into it. I don't know why it took me so long, but I recently followed Women in Art on Instagram. I know my phone has been listening to me because I've been talking a lot about femininity and how I express it and my discomfort in that. And this page was recommended to me recently. I've gone back and forth on if I even want to post this video. It's vulnerable to share how I feel sometimes, but as we know, my passion for art lies in its relatability. Aya Hopkinson is an artist whose post was shared by Women in Art on Instagram, and when I saw it, it stopped me in my tracks. My uterus in me truly makes me cry when I look at it. Through the exploration of Aya's relationship with her reproductive organ and the way she describes it, I truly feel less alone. She sculpted a giant uterus out of fabric and polyester filling and carried it around London, capturing the burden but also the companionship of having a uterus. This work was inspired by her search for an endometriosis diagnosis and the medical misogyny and gaslighting that occurred when she was trying to get that diagnosis. Aya mentioned she wanted to make the invisible visible and states in her artist statement about the photos, through scale, craft, and performance, they examine the unseen weight of feminine expectation, questioning how the body can both perform and protest, turning private experiences into an act of resistance. My favorite photo is the one in the water. Being a uterus haver myself, sometimes the sheer weight of expectation from society as a woman feels like I'm standing in the ocean, holding myself up against the waves. Maya and Sophia Wystubb's post, also shared by the Women in Our Instagram page, is another I keep going back to look at. For International Women's Day, she posted a selection of works regarding womanhood, and when I saw it, for the first time in a long time, I felt seen. I haven't explored my body as a piece of art the way Mayan has expressed in these works. Some images, more visceral than others, make me uncomfortable, but the exploration of femininity and the power it holds has made me feel strong. It makes me feel like the community that I'm searching for in womanhood, that I've explored through this video and through life, lies in the art. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to show a lot of the pieces on YouTube for fear of getting the video taken down, but the one that stuck out to me, the one I felt most attached to, was one of a woman with her legs up, with a video of a volcano erupting placed over her vagina. This piece, that time of the month from 2022, stuck with me. The symbolism of the volcano, the uncomfortable position of the woman, and the eruption all come together to create this piece that bonds women through our physicality. When I was a senior in college, my graphic design capstone was a project called I Wear My Mother's Skirt. I used this opportunity to explore womanhood, but to this day, I struggle to feel like I did it justice. Inspired by Judy Chicago's dinner party, I wanted to dive into what it means to be a woman with a story to tell. The book Sexual Politics discusses combining culture and biology through art, and there were so many incredible works that stick with me to this day. Using this as inspiration, I tried to convey my own feelings towards womanhood through this project. I designed a bookshelf where each shelf lined up with an aspect of my life in relation to femininity. For example, one shelf represented the relationship I have with my family, another trauma, but I think I missed the mark, and I never found the answer I was looking for. Sexual Politics is a book that talks about feminist art history, and there's a quote that I recently read from the book that I hadn't remembered when I went through it the first time. Uncovering the lost mysteries and women histories of the matriarchy, we enrich our present by increasing the threads of continuity with our ancient sisters. To know and understand our foremothers is to give us more insight into our circumstances, enhance our self-image, and provide a firmer ground in which to restore a woman to a rightful place. That's a quote from Mary Beth Edelson. I think this quote may have solved my problem in a roundabout way. What I'm missing as a woman is not in my biology, it's not in my mentality, it's not in the clothes I wear. It's in my community with other women and those that came before me.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
It's the female fury and the fight for our rights. It's the collective of women as a whole, whether cis or trans, that has the universal experience that I'm searching for. I think I do too much comparison and not enough companionship. And the answer to my question, why do I feel other, doesn't exist, because I'm asking the wrong question. Through my research of this video, I have found community in womanhood. In art and conversation, I have found my place as a woman. I'm looking, listening, and I see you. If you've struggled with the feelings I've expressed in the beginning of this video, I think a great place to start is not by asking, why am I so different, but how are we the same? Biology and culture and society and clothing, fashion is not womanhood. Womanhood is the experience of everything. Femininity isn't womanhood, community is. Finding art I can finally relate to has helped me find my community, and I hope you find yours. Thanks for watching.